When NBA YoungBoy's tour hit New Orleans, no one could have predicted the chaos that was about to unfold. What happened after his sold-out show not only shook the hip-hop community but also raised serious questions about concert safety. And the real story? You've got to see it to believe it. On October 19th, 2025, Kentrell Deshaun Golden, better known as NBA YoungBoy, performed a sold-out show at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. This wasn't just any concert. It was part of his 8th studio album tour, Make America Slime Again, Massa. The energy inside the arena was electric. Thousands of fans packed in tight, all there to witness one of the most controversial and raw artists in the rap game today. The show itself went off without a hitch. But the real drama started after the final note. YoungBoy was spotted strolling through downtown New Orleans, hitting the famous Canal and Bourbon streets. And here's the kicker. He had no personal security. No bodyguards, no shooters, nothing. Just imagine that for a second. One of the biggest names in hip-hop, whose tour has already been marked by threats and show cancellations, casually walking through one of the busiest party districts in America with zero protection. Unsurprisingly, things quickly got out of hand. Hundreds of fans swarmed him, creating what can only be described as pure chaos. While there was no actual violence, no fights, no weapons, the scene was overwhelming and could have turned dangerous in seconds as frenzy unfolded in the early morning hours of October 20th, around 2 to 3 a.m. The crowd's excitement led to intense pushing and shoving, with pathways completely blocked by fans desperate to get close, snap a photo, or just touch their favorite rapper. Imagine being in that crowd, surrounded by pure energy and anticipation. Now imagine being YoungBoy at the center of it all, hesitant, clearly uncomfortable, as the situation spiraled out of control faster than anyone could manage. It was a moment that showed just how unpredictable and risky life on tour can get, even for one of hip-hop's biggest stars. That's when the New Orleans Police Department, NOPD, stepped in, and their response was nothing short of cinematic. Officers literally lifted NBA YoungBoy off his feet and carried him to a waiting vehicle, making sure he was safe from the overwhelming crowd. Multiple videos captured the moment from every angle, showing police hoisting the rapper above the mob and rushing him away like something straight out of a movie. The good news? No arrests were made, no crimes were reported, and YoungBoy appeared physically unharmed, though it was clear he was shaken by the whole ordeal. What makes this incident even more significant is that the police response wasn't just random reaction. It was part of a pre-planned operation based on threat intelligence they had received. Law enforcement knew trouble could happen, and they were posted and ready for it. Which brings up the obvious question. If the cops knew something could go down, why was YoungBoy wandering the streets without his own security team? His crew was notably absent during the chaos, leaving him completely reliant on venue staff and police for protection. To this day, neither NBA YoungBoy nor anyone from his camp has commented on what happened, adding even more mystery to the situation. The footage from that night went absolutely viral. Clips flooded X, formerly Twitter, and various hip-hop news sites, showing the mob and police intervention from multiple angles. A key video from Hot New Hip Hop shows fans surrounding him on Bourbon Street while officers carry him to safety. An extended clip from No Jumper captures a walk turning chaotic within seconds, with police jumping in to extract him. Even a full sequence from Live Bite shows over 2 minutes of the post-concert walk, the mob escalating, and the dramatic police rescue from start to finish. It was a night that reminded everyone just how unpredictable concerts and life on the road can get for hip-hop's biggest stars. These videos blew up online, racking up tens of thousands of views within hours. Fans were commenting on NBA YoungBoy's vulnerability, the sheer intensity of his fan base, and the chaos that unfolded. Online discussions ranged from genuine concern for his safety to criticism of his team for letting him walk around with no protection, while others gave props to the police for potentially preventing a tragedy. But the New Orleans incident, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the madness surrounding NBA YoungBoy's Massa tour. Let me put you on to the bigger picture. What's been happening on this tour is straight up alarming. This event highlighted ongoing security challenges for YoungBoy's tour, which has faced multiple cancellations and serious threats from rivals and ops. The New Orleans shows weren't playing. The city deployed over 400 police officers for the concert's 400 cops. Fam, for perspective, most shows only have a few dozen security personnel at most. This was practically a military-level operation, and it tells you everything you need to know about how real the threats are. YoungBoy's tours always draw massive, high-energy crowds because of his cult-like following. But they've also been plagued by safety issues. This isn't new. It's a pattern that's been building over time. Here's a glimpse at some of the other wild incidents from this tour at Atlanta, October 19th, 2025. The show at State Farm Arena got completely scrapped after YoungBoy's crew clashed physically with police over security protocols. Fans were left frustrated and questions started swirling about what really happened behind the scenes. Houston, September 7th, 2025. Fans ambush his vehicle after the Toyota Center concert, Washington, D.C., October 2nd, 2025. A mob of fans swarmed his car after he waved to them. These incidents show a disturbing pattern. Every time YoungBoy tries to connect with fans, chaos follows. Perhaps the scariest moment so far happened on September 11th in Los Angeles, when his concert had to be evacuated due to reports of gunfire. Imagine the panic, the stampede for exits, not knowing if shots were real or where the threat was coming from. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but the psychological impact on fans and staff must have been intense. And as serious as these incidents were, they pale in comparison to what went down in Kansas City. At the T-Mobile Center on September 21st, things escalated from chaotic to horrific vicious assault that makes a New Orleans fan mob look tame. That's where the story gets even darker. What happened in Kansas City represents something way darker, way more disturbing, and it raises serious questions about concert safety that we really need to address head-on. No cap that on September 21st, 2025, during NBA YoungBoy's sold-out Massive Tour concert at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri, a violent assault went down that would shock the whole nation and ignite mad debates about youth violence, concert safety, and accountability. The victim, 66-year-old venue employee Thomas Schlanger, the perpetrator, a 14-year-old teen at the show. The reason? A seating dispute. Yeah, you heard that right. A seating dispute. Bro, let me walk you through exactly what popped off, because the details of this beat are genuinely difficult to process. On God, the assault happened around 9:30 p.m. inside the arena during NBA YoungBoy's performance. Thomas Schlanger was working as a guest services employee. He'd been doing this job for 17 years, helping fans, making sure everyone was in the right seats, keeping things organized, and running smooth, just doing his job like he had done thousands of times before without issue. Other concertgoers flagged him down because a young teen was sitting in the wrong section. Standard procedure every single concert. Schlanger approached the teen and politely asked him to move to his correct seat. What happened next was anything but standard. My guy. The confrontation escalated shockingly fast, like 0 to 100 real quick. The teen pushed Thomas Schlanger to the ground and proceeded to brutally beat him repeatedly, landing punches of both the face and body. We're not talking 1 or 2 punches here. The attack lasted approximately 20 to 30 seconds, with the teen landing over 10 clean punches on the elderly man while he was laid out on the ground. The beat there was so vicious it broke Thomas Schlanger's nose and left him with serious facial bruising and other injuries. But yo, it gets worse. When a security guard tried to intervene and break up the assault, that guard was attacked by the teen, too. Think about the level of rage, the complete lack of self-control required for a 14-year-old to not only brutally beat down a man old enough to be his grandfather, but then attack anyone who tried to stop him. That's wild. Bro, the whole incident was caught on multiple cell phones by people at the show, and those videos quickly went viral on social media, sparking widespread outrage over the brutality and the vulnerability of elderly workers just trying to make a living. The footage is genuinely hard to watch. No cap. You see Thomas Schlanger, a 66-year-old man just trying to do his job, getting thrown to the ground. You see the teen charging at him, slamming him onto the concrete floor. Punch after punch rains down while bystanders scream. Some people even pulled out their phones to record instead of helping. Finally, somebody stepped in. That somebody was a concert attendee named Antonio Claytor. His story deserves to be told, because in an arena full of people, he was the only one brave enough to physically step in and stop the beat there. Let me put you on to what Antonio Claytor witnessed and what made him jump in. In an interview with Fox 4 News, he described the horrific scene in chilling detail.
Kid just keeps coming down. Kid just pushed him.
Snap.
Yeah, he just spazzed out and he pushed him. And like, I have family members that are that age. This isn't right. Like, I have elders. Like, I was raised with morals and values. Like, you can't act like that, especially to our elders.
Antonio Claytor's bravery cannot be overstated. Fam, in a moment when everyone else was either filming on their phones or frozen in shock, he stepped in and put himself at risk to save a complete stranger. He had no idea if the teen was armed, or if he'd get attacked next, but he acted anyway because it was the right thing to do. That's real street code right there. Thomas Schlanger was rushed immediately to the hospital with thankfully non-life-threatening injuries, including a broken nose and severe facial bruising. In later interviews, Schlanger revealed that he remembered very little of the actual beatdown due to the shock of the attack. The trauma was so intense that his brain essentially blocked out those 20 to 30 seconds of pure brutality. The teenage attacker, a 14-year-old whose name has not been released due to his age, was detained on site by Kansas City Police Department officers but was initially released to a guardian pending further investigation. The good news, no weapons were involved, and remarkably, the concert continued uninterrupted. NBA YoungBoy's performance went on while Schlanger received treatment for his injuries. The video from that night spread like wildfire across the internet, going absolutely viral. Eyewitness Robert McDaniel described the assault to the Daily Mail in stark terms. The teen attacked Schlanger simply because his ticket was in the wrong section, broke his nose, and repeatedly punched him while bystanders screamed. The footage captured everything the teen charging, slamming the elderly man to the floor, landing over 10 solid punches, and eventually being pulled off by Antonio Clayton and others who stepped in. The primary viral video, shared by TMZ and circulated widely across X, shows a full assault sequence lasting roughly 45 seconds, with the teen relentlessly pummeling Schlanger on the floor. An alternate angle from the Kansas City Star captured the initial shove and the crowd's shocked reaction to the violence. Together, these clips racked up millions of views, with hashtags like NBA YoungBoy fight trending across social media platforms. The public reaction was immediate and intense. The Kansas City incident drew sharp criticism from multiple corners, with Mayor Quinton Lucas publicly condemning the violence. The irony? Earlier that same day, the mayor had praised NBA YoungBoy's anti-violence initiatives and his Stop the Violence advocacy, creating a stark contrast between a rapper's message and what actually happened. It showed that T.O. really understand what went down in Kansas City and New Orleans. We have to look at the bigger picture. Famty brought a pattern of violence at rap concerts. The incidents on NBA YoungBoy's massive tour didn't happen in a vacuum. They are part of a disturbing trend that's been building for years. And to truly grasp the scope, you need to consider one of the deadliest concert tragedies in U.S. history, the Astroworld Festival disaster on November 5, 2021. During Travis Scott's headlining set at Houston's Astroworld Festival, a catastrophic crowd surge led to the deaths of 10 attendees aged 9 to 27 from compression asphyxiation, with hundreds more injured. This wasn't just another concert mosh pit, became one of the deadliest concert disasters in the United States and fundamentally changed how the industry approaches concert safety, especially at hip-hop shows with high-energy fan bases. Astroworld took place at NRG Park in Houston and was both organized and headlined by Travis Scott. The victims included 9-year-old Ezra Blount, 22-year-old Patty Shunny, and 8 others aged 14 to 27. Over 300 people were injured, with 25 requiring hospitalization for serious trauma. These weren't just numbers, they were real people with families and futures, all caught in a deadly chain of events in a matter of minutes. The cause was a massive crowd surge during Scott's set around 9:30 p.m. Approximately 50,000 fans were pressed toward the stage, and the sheer density of the crowd caused people to literally suffocate from being crushed. Investigations later pointed to poor crowd control, oversold tickets, and inadequate planning as key factors, making the tragedy almost inevitable. The festival was sold out with a total capacity of 100,000, but over half of the audience was jammed into the stage area, far too many people packed into a single space.